This program is brought to you by the following sponsors.
This is Brunei Darussalam, a country with one of the highest standards of living and a GDP per capita by purchasing power parity higher than that of the United States. The global financial crisis passed it by, and it has achieved this level of stability and development while maintaining the pristine rainforest and the cultural and religious traditions that are so important. But all this relies on one thing: the country's reserves of oil and gas. This sector makes up some 90% of total exports and over 50% of GDP, but production is on the decline. The oil and gas industry has been the linchpin of Brunei's economy for the past 80 years, but the availability of cheap, easily exploitable reserves of oil and gas, as in much of the world, is becoming scarce, and as such there is a push to diversify into areas such as Islamic finance and ICT. However, this shift will take time. With the price of oil well over $100 a barrel, it is still profitable to exploit some of the marginal prospects found in the waters around Brunei. But this leaves the country vulnerable to energy price drops, such as those seen in the aftermath of the 2008 financial crash. Faced with this predicament, the nation's draft energy white paper, formulated in 2011, set out prudent strategies to encourage more participation of local companies in the energy sector. The government is looking to keep more of the money earned from oil and gas in Brunei with local Bruneian companies, rather than see revenue earned from oil and gas production go to foreign-based service providers and contractors. In addition to this, the government aims to expand the downstream sector to boost local employment, adding value to the hydrocarbons before they leave Brunei for export, and to ensure that the country can continue to be a major regional player in energy production long after oil and gas production rates start to wane. 2011 and 12 saw a spate in major investments in petrochemicals and new refining capacity in Brunei as part of a long-term strategic plan to create downstream sectors that can rival countries in the region.
The Energy White Paper is designed to be a strategic roadmap towards long-term security and economic prosperity. It calls for the creation of a healthy environment for the national energy industry that will be complement the country vision of 2035.
Brunei is very fortunate in that it has very large reserves of oil and gas, and it's used these for development projects instead of logging its own forest. In Sarawak and Sabah, even though they're quite well off in oil and gas, they've logged their forests quite extensively and converted a lot of that forest to oil palm. If you look at the maps on Google Earth of the Sarawak-Brunei border, you'll see that the palm oil plantations and the logging goes right up to the Brunei border. So effectively, Brunei has acted as a wildlife preserve and reservoir for wildlife that's fled from Sarawak into Brunei as the Sarawak forest has been destroyed. So this emphasizes the importance of Brunei's forests for the wildlife of Borneo as a whole. They're not just preserving their own wildlife, they're preserving the wildlife of Sarawak and Sabah as well.
Although the public sector is the main employer of citizens and residents, it can no longer adequately absorb the growing number of young people wishing to enter the workforce each year. Despite Brunei's oil and gas sector generating most of its revenue, it only utilizes 3% of the local workforce.
In respects of fulfilling the number of manpower required by Vision 2035, especially in the area of oil and gas, UBD, for example, is offering multidisciplinary broad-based undergraduate and graduate programs in energy studies and petroleum geoscience. ITB has been offering programs in engineering, that is petroleum and chemical engineering, and next year we are exploring the possibility of including processing engineering.
Local participation is very, very important in the oil and gas service sector, primarily because it's a local industry and we need our locals to be involved. and we need to build up our locals. Okay, we have a good pool of people which we need to train, and of course we need all the necessary expertise and the knowledge in place and grow from there.
The international player, a lot of them welcome LBDs. A lot of them were saying that this should have been done ages ago. So this is the one thing that we welcome, the big player in this business. But they must also understand the need to develop local business. This is nothing new. You go all over the world, those people who have oil and gas, everybody is developing their local business capability. In our case, we have new industry area like Pulau Muara Besar and also Bukit Panggal industrial area. All these places is designed to welcome the international player in oil and gas. And there's various other incentives by the Ministry of Finance in terms of taxes that make Brunei an attraction for investment in oil and gas services industries.
Energy conservation is a global concern, and it is an urgent matter for Brunei, which has one of the highest carbon footprints in the world in terms of emissions on a per capita basis. In order to reduce these levels, it is crucial that energy saving becomes a lifestyle choice for a sustainable future.
Do you know that we are number 12 among 198 countries in terms of energy intensity per capita? This is really not very good to be, Again, we are the highest in Asia. Again, this is what we don't want to be. We want to be the bottom in Asia. EEC is very important to us. The current energy expenditure to the government is about 2 billion Brunei dollars. Just imagine for a country of less than 400,000, we're spending 2 billion Brunei dollars. We are also part of a global society. We are committed to APEC. APEC requires us to make sure that our energy intensity is reduced by 45% by the year 2035. We are making steps to ensure that we meet this 45% in the reduction of our energy intensity, that we have what we call the National Committee on Energy Efficiency and Conservation, basically co-chaired by myself, Ministry of Development and Ministry of Communication. And we are basically looking at various initiatives to reduce our energy intensity and thus to make it possible for us to achieve the goal of 45% reduction of energy intensity by 2035.
When we're talking about energy efficiency and conservation, people think about electricity more. So on term of the years, we are now still continuously putting more strong words towards to energy conservation, to the more on public awareness at the moment. But when you look at what is our 3 milestone on combined cycle, this is whereby now we are looking at to enhance our power generation efficiency. This is what we are trying now to do, to take the initiative of energy conservation.
In the region, industrialization-led economic growth based on the development approach of grow first, clean up later has been synchronous with rapid urban population growth, land use change and major environmental problems. This hindsight provides Brunei with the opportunity to work towards a policy of energy use that places sustainability at its core.
The beauty of Brunei now is a self-sufficient energy supply. We have our own resources and we produce our resources to make electricity supply, reliable electricity supply continuously and safe. And we manage our own resources. That is the beauty of Brunei in terms of energy resources now.
When you fly with us,
Experience Bruneian hospitality from beginning to end. Royal Brunei Airlines, a refined tradition. DST is the leading mobile operator, media and entertainment provider in Brunei. DST is broadening their market and technology base and investing in human capital development. We are now focusing on Brunei's economic diversification through ICT and being its global champion. We make it happen. DST, the future, now.
With breathtaking views on Asia's best golf courses awarded by Asian Golf Monthly and the world's most luxurious suite, you'll find the time not only to work, but to relax. Welcome to the Empire Golf and Country Club in Brunei.
We at Telbrew are a leading provider of telecommunication and information technology in Brunei. We anticipate change to drive us beyond the threshold to find new frontiers in the ICT sector. As a catalyst for innovation, we are committed to bringing you more. With our unrivaled expertise and credibility, we help position Brunei Darussalam as a place for investment, and we would like to be your partner of choice. Telbrew, making a difference.
The country has drawn up a plan for the future, an economic vision that aims to diversify the economy away from oil and gas. If it works, Brunei's economy will evolve in a sustainable way, securing the future of the culture, environment and its people. The tourism industry is an important part of Brunei's economic diversification plan, and it is working towards developing targeted niche segments in its tourism sector, building on strengths such as nature, culture and faith. The nation continues to make efforts to promote it without compromising the environment.
Brunei is a country of peace and tranquility. It's the gateway to the rainforest of Borneo. It has tremendous potential in terms of tourism. I would invite all of our friends across the Asian region to come and visit the country. Also for business, this is a country of high technology with a very young, dynamic, well-educated workforce.
Borneo, along with the Amazon, is considered home to some of the oldest rainforests in the world, and is one of the reasons that tourism in Brunei has been identified as an economic cluster that has great potential. Brunei has the opportunity to develop its ecotourism base through genuine initiatives and at the same time utilize and promote local expertise and practices.
I would say the pièce de résistance would be to go into the jungle. I've done it a couple of times and it truly is remarkable. You take a bus to a boat and then you take quite a big boat, well, about 20 people, and you got the Brunei River and you go through the mangrove swamps and then you get into the jungle and then you have to get off that medium-sized boat onto, in Thailand you call it the long tail boat, you know, a long boat that sits up in the water, and there's about, I think, 6 of you can get in that. And depending on how high the water is, they whisk you up to Temburong, which is right in the jungle. There's a couple of resorts there, and I say resorts, they're very comfortable, they're very, very, very nice, but they're not great big splashy events. They fit into the jungle. Stay there overnight, you have a bite to eat, get up in the morning before the sun rises, and work your way through the jungle at night, and you hear the sounds of the crickets and the various animals. It's a bit scary, but it's people always there to look after you. And it's a unique experience. And then you get to the top. It's about a 40-minute hike. You get there and it's sunrise. And then you go up this canopy, which is made from like a scaffolding. And it's a little bit scary. If you're not good with heights, you need to get yourself ready for this. But you go up, I would say it's probably about 80 feet. And now you're above the top of the trees, and it's unbelievable. You come down again, and then you stop worrying about what's going ahead of you, and then you begin to see more of what's going on in the jungle. It's truly unique. Then you come back down to the resort, you take the boats back, and on the way up in the boats, you may see crocodiles, you absolutely will see riverbirds, so it's absolutely special experience. And I would honestly say that would be the highlight of coming to Brunei. But then another thing to see is the Kampong Aya, which is a village on stilts. It's on the water, Brunei River, and it's really quite amazing. It's a very large part of Brunei's capital city.
Brunei faces a challenge that is a rarity in Asia, a small population. How can a country with a population of less than 500,000 people provide the manpower for the coming economic revolution? Luckily, the government has been investing heavily in education. The information and communication technology sector is one of the knowledge-based sectors that has been identified by the government as a potential catalyst for economic diversification. This is an opportunity where a small, highly skilled workforce can generate maximum returns.
My vision is that Brunei should take advantage of their politically stable, the location they're in, and also the higher literacy in Brunei. And this is where I believe that with the development of ICT industry in Brunei, which can contribute at least 3% of GDP in the next 5 years.
The ICT sector plays a central part in Brunei's development strategy, and there are high hopes that the technology sector will promote economic activity, taking the industry and workforce in new directions.
ICT plays a very important role in the diversification of Brunei's economy away from oil and gas and towards the Wawasan 2035 vision.
Telbu shares the 2035 vision, and we acknowledge that the availability and the use of ICT will positively affect the country's international competitiveness, will facilitate economic diversification, and also increase productivity and efficiency.
Information technology is a crucial part of any organization, and business continuity relies on constant access to data provided by business systems. The growing demand of IT continuity has led to the need of off-site data centers to protect data from natural disasters, power failures, and fire. Brunei sees this demand as an opportunity.
So I think Brunei is an ideal place for data center deployments, either primary, secondary, or certainly for disaster recovery. Brunei has a lot of things going for it. If you look at data centers, two of the biggest cost items is real estate and power. So Brunei, both real estate and power, relative to the rest of the region or relative to the world, is very cheap.
With the increased uptake for cloud computing, super-fast internet is needed to stay in front of the curve and remain regionally competitive.
So ensuring business and consumers have access to highly developed ICT and high-capacity broadband networks is the key element in the aim to transform the nation into a knowledge-based economy. ICT becomes a necessity in facilitating existing and new ways of doing business, creating new or secondary industry of integrated ICT services. The upgrade from copper to fiber is a key part of our continuous effort to embrace new and the state-of-the-art technologies, as well as to align with the government's broadband strategic plan roadmap. The FTTH high-speed fixed broadband and the LTE mobile broadband will enable us to accommodate high bandwidth demand and thereby providing quality contents and over-the-top services such as IPTV, online interactivity, social media, etc., over the high-speed network access.
The drive to upgrade networks will increase capacity, but why?
Brunei is one of the leading companies in terms of social media and social networking penetration in terms of per capita. So we are spending a lot of our capital expenditure budget on the latest and greatest technologies. For example, we are moving towards from 3G towards LTE, long-term evolution, and 4G on the mobile side. On the social networking side, we are actually combining online games, mobile games, with social networking and social media. Brunei, as some of you may know, is the leading country per capita in terms of social networking and social media, and DST plays a big role in that as well.
For a bright and prosperous future, Brunei Darussalam must adapt to change, and all that this entails by way of ambition, innovation and courageous planning. There is an urgent need for the economy and its people to be competitive, productive and innovative if they are to adapt to today's rapidly changing global economic climate. The Brunei government realizes that ICT is a significant sector providing these opportunities.
At Bank Islam Brunei Darussalam, we help you achieve your dreams while following Brunei's values and way of life. Using the latest technology, we make internet banking simple and secure. You can count on us for convenience and reliability. Your truly Bruneian bank, Bank Islam Brunei Darussalam, enhancing your quality of life. AITI helps to nurture and facilitate growth in Brunei's ICT sector. As a regulator, we ensure a competitive environment while propelling the nation forward by promoting innovation using the latest technology. AITI, growing Brunei's ICT sector. Belayat Shipping is one of the oldest marine companies to operate in the oil and gas industry in Brunei Darussalam. Our inspirations are to excel in operating high technology as well as providing engineering, maintenance and total logistics services to the offshore industry. Belayat Shipping is becoming Brunei Darussalam's de facto leader in providing specialized marine infrastructure solutions. Localization, a key to national energy security. At Takaful Brunei Darussalam, we protect your greatest asset, your family. We are supporting the Bruneian way of life. We are more than just insurance. Takaful is not just about protection. It is a duty to help one another. Takaful, you can always trust.
Expansion of the Islamic finance sector is a major focus of the government plan for the future. Islamic finance has witnessed rapid growth around the Muslim world over the last decade, and Brunei, with its virtually tax-free environment, is ideally suited for an Islamic financial center.
Overall, the Islamic banking sector in Brunei is approximately about 40% of the overall banking market. Bearing in mind that this is a relatively new sector for the country, the conventional banking has been there for ages, whereas the Islamic banking sector has its introduction about 20 years ago. We have seen that it has actually achieved quite a robust growth. That's basically purely in the banking sector. Of course, we have a large and a vibrant Islamic insurance sector, or Takaful, and together the Islamic banking sector as well as the Islamic insurance sector jointly account for nearly 50% of the overall financial services sector in Brunei.
Takaful, which means mutual protection or joint guarantee, is a system of Islamic insurance. Since its establishment in the early 1990s, the Takaful sector has developed rapidly in Brunei Darussalam and is an instrumental component of the Islamic finance sector in the country.
When I look at Brunei and when I look at the Islamic banking sector, I see that in a lot of large markets, financial institutions as well as others are constantly looking for ways in which you can test a particular concept in a small area, and then if it is successful, then you can introduce it to a larger world. Brunei exactly meets that requirement. As a country, we are relatively small with a small population, and therefore it is an ideal testing ground for new products and services. And based on the success of some of these products and services and new technology, that these products can then subsequently be introduced to larger markets based on the success. Or sometimes there will not always be successes, there will be some failures, and therefore what are the lessons that can be learned when such products are basically introduced in larger markets.
Brunei is actually aware that financial success is dependent on ventures beyond the nation and therefore has strategies for regional trade as well as further afield.
So far, we have spoken to our potential partners in the Republic of Kazakhstan and Turkey, and they have shown their interest and trust in our management of the couple and products. And so they are very interested in working with us. So that will enable us to grow our business overseas. It's in line with His Majesty's aspirations to go globally in order to improve our growth and development of the couple Brunei Darussalam.
Brunei Darussalam strategic plan capitalizes on the nation's past to ensure a sustainable future. The reluctance to compromise heritage or identity has helped to preserve biodiversity and local character. With the culture and environment still intact, Brunei's holistic fiscal policy aims to generate a progressive economy in a global financial climate plagued by recession and debt.
Well, Brunei is a country of great contrast, which provides great opportunity. At one level, this is a great oasis of peace and tranquility in an otherwise very chaotic world these days. So for people around the region and internationally who are looking for a different travel experience, Brunei is definitely the place to come. But also for business. This is a country of high technology where the government is investing in high technology. The quality of the workforce is excellent. So we believe there are increasing opportunities both for business and tourism in Brunei.
In the middle of this rapidly developing region, Brunei is attempting to navigate environmental protection, social harmony and economic buoyancy. The government's plan for the future is to aim for a diversified economy that offers Brunei the vital hope to preserve and protect its heritage while maintaining economic growth. Brunei Darussalam is a small country packed with hidden opportunities.
This program was brought to you by the following sponsors.
This Sunday, they tried to fix prices but were caught and given